Hello, Popcorn Junkies. It's an early trailer today, a Marvel Studios trailer. Okay, before we get going, I want to ask you, do you think Marvel and the Marvel Cinematic Universe and all the Marvel films coming out, do you think they've reached saturation point? Do you think they've overcooked the franchise? Have they released too much too soon? Has Disney Plus and the proliferation of Marvel Disney series, has it sort of diluted the joy and the appeal of going to see a Marvel film? Because of course back in the day it was a little bit more like the original Star Wars films. You had a bit of a wait, the excitement would froth up, and then when you re-met your familiar characters, it became very exciting. Do you think also that they're spreading the net too far? The child in me thinks they could never throw the net or spread the net too far. You know, finding the origin stories for all these characters for me just adds to a more and more layered kind of universe and realm. Now, one of the films that I found most disappointing in all of the ones that have been released was Captain Marvel. It wasn't Brie Larson's fault. I'm a big fan of Brie Larson. Just found the story, I don't know, just a bit fluffy. And I have to confess, one of the things I wasn't entirely convinced by, even though I'm a huge fan of Ben Mendelsohn, were the Skrulls, obviously Marvel aficionados. I mean, I'm what you call a sort of proper child Marvel fan who would go down, clutch his comic and just love the story in the comic. I wasn't necessarily slotting all the bits together like a tessellated sort of puzzle. But I think one of the aspects of Captain Marvel were the Skrulls that I just wasn't convinced by it. Though, as I say, Ben Mendelsohn I thought was fantastic. I always do, though you don't see him really because they have these sort of strange sort of faces, don't they? One of the characters who we've always been a big fan in the family is Nick Fury, obviously played by Samuel L. Jackson. We love him. He has a droll sense of humour often. It sometimes sort of feeds into his character here. And this pivots around, this is a trailer for Secret Invasion. There's a lot of excitement about this because I think it really slots into and is an origin story for the man who essentially was kind of looking after or was at the helm in many regards, administratively. I love this. He's sort of like an administrator at the helm of the Avengers in earlier films. He doesn't have his eye patch for huge swathes of this. We did see a teaser / trailer a while back. It was kind of all right. So this is about a secret invasion of Skrulls. Now, what's confusing is Ben Mendelsohn is a Skrull, but he's working with Nick Fury. I think I've got that right. And this is about Skrulls coming to Earth, planting sort of imposters. So there are spies, Skrull-like spies, and it's up to Nick Fury to kind of stop this invasion or find the imposters, find the undercover, I guess, assassin types. Anyway, Secret Invasion. Let's check it out.
Fury, since you've been gone, things have gotten much worse.
Hey.
Why do you think I came back?
You're in no shape for this fight that lies before us, old friend.
This is personal.
Very few of us know about the wars fought in the shadows that have raged on this planet. You feel responsible.
Where are the Avengers? This war is one I have to fight. Alone. You're the most wanted man on the planet.
You don't know what they have planned for you.
The great Nick Fury. One last fight.
I forgot Olivia Colman in there, some real kind of British theatre acting kind of, stalwarts. Olivia Colman, Martin Freeman, who plays obviously the Hobbit, Emilia Clarke, Game of Thrones. Samuel L. Jackson, Ben Mendelsohn's always good value for money. There's always a sort of, when he was in Bloodlines, there's always that kind of villainy in him, isn't he? He's sort of dirty. He's kind of dirty, although he's kind of obviously an ally of Nick Fury in this. At first, I'm sort of getting that thing where it's a lot of guns, it's a lot of fighting, and when you hide invaders, secret invasion, within the bodies of normal humans, it's a really cost-effective way, isn't it, of trying to build drama and jeopardy without actually having to use any sort of costumes, prosthetics, or monstery kind of stuff. And yet at the same time, we're always demanding, certainly I am, a sort of lower key, more sophisticated kind of horror. I quite like that moment where they're all in suits, a bit Men in Blackish, obviously the other way around, with them all kind of who's who. Are these the invaders? Ben Mendelsohn, clearly at sea, presumably to the Skrulls. He's a traitor of sorts. Really like that moment at the end where the guy's arm kind of flies out. I hope there's going to be quite a bit of that. Nick Fury looking at his own grave. Obviously we're going to have his own internal, interior kind of struggle with himself. His origin story. What's the story behind, why he's died, how he became the sort of head of the Avengers. Where are the Avengers, they say? And many of us are asking exactly that same question. Why have they invaded? What are they trying to do? You do wonder sometimes whether once you've established someone like Thanos and, recently someone like Kang, albeit let's hope that the Jonathan Majors story isn't true, you sort of think, well, once you've got them, how sort of frightening or malevolent can you make other villains? It looks quite espionage-y. It looks, they've gone for a noir-y kind of look and feel, what with the umbrella silhouetted against sort of neon-lit shops and all that kind of stuff. I think a lot of the heavy lifting here is going to be done by the espionage thriller aspect, by the who's the villain and who's not the villain, because they're hidden under the masks, essentially, of human beings. I'm looking forward to most in this. Ben Mendelsohn's interior sort of conflict, Nick Fury's conflict, that's what I'm drawn to there. And then at the end, there was just that suggestion that we will have some sort of body morphing action, because at the end of the day, these are comic books and you need a bit of that. So what are your thoughts, guys? Are you excited about that? Has that got you fired up in the way that it's got huge numbers of Marvel fans fired up?